From 1479 to 1425 BC, the Egyptian Empire was ruled by a pharaoh with excellent military qualities, a sovereign who gave the greatest geographical extension to his empire, from present-day Syria to part of Sudan, specifically up to the fourth cataract of the Nile. His powerful army and his undeniable bravery reached even in regions of Asia between the Sinai Peninsula and the Euphrates River, where they made 17 campaigns of conquest and confronted the Mitanni kingdom. The pharaoh was Menhotep Thutmose, better known by his Hellenic name, Thutmose III. He was not originally destined to rule, but since his father, Thutmose II, was unable to have sons with the great royal wife, who was also his sister, Queen Hatshepsut, the succession went to the son he had with a royal concubine named Isis. He was born in 1481 BC, so he was only a child when he was crowned, so that during the early years, Hatshepsut assumed the regency of the throne and even tried to remove him from the succession with the firm project of creating a dynasty of pharaohs, starting with her daughter Neferure, who died with only 16 years, so the plan of the queen was frustrated. She also died for unknown reasons, and that was how Thutmose III began to rule without the regency of his step-aunt. Thutmose III was the sixth pharaoh of the 18th dynasty of Egypt and one of the most important and influential of the pharaonic civilization in general. This dynasty is considered the one of greatest splendor and geographical expansion, and in addition was part of the new empire of Egypt, the era in which the 18, 19 and 20 dynasties ruled. This pharaoh was in power for 54 years. The first 20 were shared in co-regency with Ma'at-Kare Hatshepsut, and when she died he remained a solo ruler for 34 more years, time in which he was able to reconquer territories of Syria that had stopped paying tribute after having been confederated. In the Battle of Megiddo, he subdued the rebelled rulers commanded by the Prince of Kadesh and then continued on his way to Lebanon, where he also dominated several cities and imposed leaders similar to the empire. He did the same in the most important cities of Syria, Aleppo, Homs, Carchemish and Hama, and thus made his way to the Euphrates. Then he carried out successful campaigns of conquest in Cyprus and Cilicia. He even concentrated and organized the pharaonic power in Napata Nubian, a region located along the Nile Valley, bathed by waterfalls, just between southern Egypt and northern Sudan. Thanks to all this conquest, he has gone down in history as the Egyptian Napoleon, and in each place of his dominions, he imposed an efficient administrative and tributary system that guaranteed the economic prosperity of the empire. He was raised in the military establishment of the empire, so he was trained in the art of war. His military audacity made him an admired strategist whose memory has always been alive and extolled. The dominion of the main commercial routes of the Near East was the product of an excellent leadership over his troops, hence the conquest of Syria was fundamental, since these routes converged in his territory. The army of the pharaoh was based in two great capitals with their respective headquarters, Thebes and Memphis. It consisted of chariots, infantry battalions, and river fleets, totaling more than 10,000 soldiers. Such territorial expansion and the dominance of the main trade routes in the region led to the accumulation of wealth and, therefore, an architectural boom in Egypt, Nubia, Thebes in example. The economic prosperity of the Egyptian empire at this time was evident, even in its sumptuous and imposing architecture. Many temples were erected, and the temple of the god Amun was expanded in Karnak, a city that concentrated the largest and most important religious complex of the Egyptian empire, and in whose temple inscriptions were engraved on the deeds and military campaigns and donations made by the pharaoh. Right there was built the commemorative temple Akhmenu, where the rebirth and the supernatural energy of Thutmose III were celebrated. Many other temples were built during his rule throughout the imperial territory, and today some ruins, inscriptions, and statues where his name appears are very well preserved, which shows that he was a highly revered pharaoh. In addition to his name, the inscriptions show his passion for zoology and botany. In fact, he founded his own botanical garden also in Karnak. As for his family, Thutmose III had two great royal wives, Satya, with whom he had Amenemhat, and Meritre Hatshepsut, who is speculated to have been the second daughter of Maatkare Hatshepsut. With her, he had his successor Amenhotep II and the princess Meritamen. He also had three secondary wives in Asia, Menhet, Menwi, and Merti. It is even believed that he may have been married to Neferure, the firstborn daughter of Maatkare Hatshepsut, but this is not confirmed. Apart from descriptions of his memoirs in all the temples and buildings that were built during his mandate, his annals have served as a guideline for successive military campaigns throughout history. His tomb in the Valley of the Kings, tomb KB34, is an archaeological find of great importance for the study of an ancient Egypt. Moreover, is considered the first great decorated tomb of his valley. In it is inscribed the most complete version of the Amduat, where the journey of the god Ra through the underworld is described. There is also the Litany of Re that serves as a reference for the deceased members of the royal house and other nobles of the empire. The funerary chamber and antechamber have in italics the name of many deities. However, his mummy had been moved to protect it from looting and was found in 1889 in the cache of the El Bahari, tomb DB 320. Thutmose III set the tone for the Egyptian empire to maintain and expand as he laid the foundations of its dominance to the point of becoming the power of the ancient world, thanks also to the commercial control of the Mediterranean. Hey, do not close the video yet. Before you go, please subscribe and leave us a like if you like this video. It would help us grow and continue making much more content. Now, with nothing more to add, we say goodbye.